to be specific, what I see far as them as a duo, you got Brown, who is an interchangeable 2 and 3, and a Tatum, who could be a 3 or 4. Now, what I'm saying is about Dylan Harper, it sounds like he could be a 1 through 3 or 1 or 3, and Ace Bailey could play the 3 or 4. That's what it sounded like. But we got my guy,
Nah.
Coach. We got my guy, Coach Ed Gladney's Amazing World of Sports. Subscribe to his page. He been doing Rucker content before Ace Bailey and Dylan Harper became part of the next season's roster. So we gonna go. We're gonna go with Coach right now. Talk to us, man, about Rucker basketball. We seen the interview earlier with Ace Bailey and Dylan Harper. Did you see it yet?
Only saw bits and pieces. I was waiting to set that up because I'm doing it, setting it up for my show. So I'm dissecting it and want to talk about it properly and give it its due respect. So and I know it just came out like either yesterday or the day before. So I really want to dive into it, and I'm also talking to one of the beat reporters for Rutgers content. Trying to get his feel on everything Rutgers, especially the basketball program. So I'm just doing my due diligence and all my research. So, but
So hold on, let me ask you this. They said that Ace Bailey and Dylan Harper is the highest recruits ever for Rutgers basketball. True?
Yes, because they're 5 stars. They weren't doing the ratings back in the 70s when Rutgers went to the Final Four. So the class that they had back then was highly rated, but I don't think they were 5 stars like Dylan and Ace are, Dylan and Ace are today. So, but yeah, no,
Do they do
they are the highest.
in your opinion, do you think they there's upside to say that they can get back to the finals with these two players as a duo?
There is, I don't want to say Final Four right now. It depends on how everything gels. Because number one, we're only bringing back 3 players from last year's team. Now we have 5 new freshmen, and I believe it's 4 new transfers. Martini, yeah, it's four transfers. So you have Acuff, who was number 8 in scoring in all of the AC and NCAA from Eastern Michigan. You have PJ. He's coming from San Diego, 3-point shooter. Zach Martini from Princeton, who's a combo 4 or 5, who can shoot the three. And who am I? Derkak from Merrimack, who's more of a slasher defender. And then, of course, you have Ace, Dylan. You have 2 Dylans. Um, you have Dylan from what's the other Dylan? He's from Massachusetts. Sorry, I forgot his name. You have Lathan Somerville, 6'10" center. I forgot the last kid.
Okay. All right. Let me ask you this: in your opinion, based on the roster you just mentioned, you want to see Ace Bailey at the 3? That's what we saying. We talking about him at the 3, but is he a 3 to you, or 3 or 4?
It depends on how the roster breaks down and how Pike positions the guys. If
Pipe is
if
the coach, right?
Yeah, I'm sorry, Steve Peichel. If Jeremiah Williams and Dylan Harper are the 2 starting guards, fine. But if Jermichael Davis, who's actually Ace's best friend, who played last year, if he ends up getting the point guard rep, and then you can probably put Dylan as a combo swing. I'm gonna say combo swing, not combo guard, because he can play. He's now listed as 6'7", so he can play. He can play anywhere from the lead guard to the off guard to the small forward. So Ace, you can probably play him anywhere from 3 to 5, depending on how you're trying to match up against the opposition. Because if you want to stretch and you want to take certain centers off the dribble, then Ace will be that type of a player. Now, mind you, he's slighter frame, so if you go up against some big burly centers who are athletic, then they might out muscle him. Like, for example, if the start of the season, Rutgers is going to be playing in a tournament against Alabama, which, everyone knows Alabama was in the Final Four last year, and also Cliff Omoruyi, who was with Rutgers last year, transferred to Alabama. And Cliff is a center. Cliff can stay with any wing player as well as a center. I mean, he's that athletic. He just doesn't have an offensive game. So I wouldn't put Ace up against him, because he would stone him, even off the drive. But if you want to put him as a small forward, yeah, he can do that. He's a 3-level player. He can take it off the dribble. He can do the mid range, and he can definitely shoot the 3. So he's definitely.
He said his NBA comparison was KD. How you feel about what he said? He said this in the interview.
Ooh. I mean, there's some similarities. I can see it. I can understand why he's saying it. I'd have to go back to KD when he was coming out of Texas to really go back and compare. I think KD is probably a little bit more proficient as a scorer. His game coming out was a little bit more refined. But, again, I'm talking about coming out of college, where Dillon is just going into college. I'd have to see when he's done. But if he says he's molding his game after KD, that's fine. I can accept that.
Nah, that's what's up. That's what's up. So I mean, from what you said, it sounds like they're going to be competitive this year. Were they competitive last year?
Yes.
What was their record last year?
They were 15 and 17. It was a I don't want to say it was a disaster, but some of the issues was the guards that they brought in through the transfer. They had one kid who was from Massachusetts, but he was 5'11". He was a good 3-point shooter, good leader, but he wasn't a Big Ten caliber type of player. The players that they have now, yes. And the other issue was Jeremiah Williams. Jeremiah Williams did not start the season because of transfer issues. He only played the second half of the season when Rutgers started to change their fortune. So if we had him at the beginning of the season, then I think it would have been a different ball game for Rutgers. So he was just that good last year for Rutgers. So, and I think he will complement Dillon in the backcourt. They can definitely play off. They can both handle the rock. They can attack the paint. I think Dillon is a better 3-point shooter than he is, because Jeremiah is streaky. But as far as competitive, yes. I mean, Zach Martini played at Princeton, very fundamentally sound. He knows how to position himself well for the rebound. He's a great leader. He's definitely going to help Dillon and Ace and all the other freshmen. Lathan Somerville, 6'10", offensive center. He's a little bit thickly built, but he has to lose a little bit of weight. But he has a very good offensive game, and he's strong in terms of he can take contact and finish at the rim. What's Dillon? The other Dillon's kid. He's from Dillon Dorich. I think his name is Dorich. He's like 6'11", 6'10", very athletic. His offensive game is more in the paint, but he's definitely good on the defensive end. So overall, Rutgers is going to be competitive. Early projections has them somewhere between 7 and 9 in the Big Ten. So, and if they gel, because they've been doing very well. I've been watching some of the highlights of the scrimmages. They're very competitive. They're physical. They're getting after it. So, but if they can gel, they can be a surprise team in the Big Ten, definitely.
All right, that's what up. PT is somebody that also be talking about Ace Bailey and this and that. I want to ask PT for one, welcome to the panel. But shout to you, PT.
What's up, my
Did
guy?
you see the interview? Did you see
Yeah,
the
I did.
interview with Ace Bailey and Dylan Harper? You seen it?
Yeah, I did. I actually have a question for Coach. Right quick, if you don't mind.
Yeah, of course, of course.
I've seen Ace Bailey in person,
Hmm.
and he looks bigger than 6'8".
No,
He
he
looks
they
taller
I
than
think
six
I think they said he's at 6'11" now.
six 6'11", right? I
Hmm.
just wanted to confirm that because that's just from the eye test. That's what I saw. Um,
Yeah,
you
hold on,
know,
I'll
and
tell
that and that's why he
you.
says he's shaping his game after KD. He's 18 years old, 6'10", 6'11" already. He may grow
Hmm.
even more than that, and he's doing his footwork is incredible. He's doing all kinds of different pull up shots. I've seen him pirouette on a 3 point line and still land and shoot a three. He knows how to square himself even when he comes to the basket. And if he's modeling his game after KD, and
Hmm.
tell me if you agree with this or not, Coach. He's a way more athletic KD. KD wasn't doing.
Yes, he's more athletic coming. And see again, I believe KD coming into college, he wasn't as gifted in terms of his handle as um, Ace is right now. So and Ace is actually listed as 6'10". Dylan is 6'6". I don't know where I got the six. Somebody posted 6'7" before. And the other kid I'm talking about is Bryce Dortch. He's 6'9", and then there's the other freshman is Dylan Grant. He's also a forward. He's a wing forward, 6'7". So but yeah, Ace is 6'10", legitimate 6'10". The only issue with him, honestly, is his slighter frame. Some teams are going to try and muscle him. And that's to be expected. Dylan Harper is built for it, and he's thickly built. Plus, having his older brother, and then his dad. Plus his mom. His mom is a basketball coach. She knows the game. She played it, so he's groomed for it. So he can handle the physicality. So, but Ace is definitely 6'10". If he gets to be 6'11", 7 feet, it wouldn't surprise me.
That's what it is. I mean, again, man, it's a great interview. But PT, what stood out to you in the interview? Was it the part where Ace Bailey said he got to protect home? Was it the part where they said, you know what I mean? Dylan Harper said he wouldn't commit unless Ace Bailey commit. I thought that was one of the greater part of the interviews, because I felt like that, we need some of that too. You know what I'm saying? That teammate camaraderie. And as a Nets fan, it do hurt seeing teammates don't have more than 2 seasons together. They give me the vibe where they want to play together, and I like that for the Nets. I like the fact that we going into, what I'm saying, our core getting stronger because they playing more and more seasons together. Let me and I'm and of course about what he could do on the offensive side of the ball. But talk to me about him as a teammate. How do you feel about him as a teammate, and how do you feel about him as just as a teammate, not
Yeah,
just.
nah,
Oh no,
he's
no. My question was defense. That was the question I wanted to ask. Defense, teammate, and defense.
okay. I'll do the defense first. Defensively, he's solid. He's I've seen him get chased down blocks. I've seen him. He's more of a weak side blocker instead of shot blocker instead of a kind of point of attack defender. But he's defense. He's competitive. Uh, and so is Dylan Harper. Like I said, man, on one of the games I caught on that people can still see on YouTube is the Jordan Brand game, and in that game, Dylan Harper was telling um, Cooper Flag that he's the number one pick, and went on and had a hell of a game and took over the game. Like he's not super athletic. His basketball IQ is off the charts. He knows how to use his body and pause, and he knows how to get to the rim. Like not being explosively athletic. Um, but excuse me, not to get off of Ace, but Ace is a good defender, and he's a funny dude. Like He's easily the funniest kid on his teams that I've seen him around. Um, people like him. You can see it from the interview, and you can see it from, like the some of the footage that Rutgers puts out. So I think whoever gets him gets a 10-year superstar in this league. He's competitive. He's really, really competitive, and he plays defense. And like he is slight, he is skinny. He needs to build his body up, but he's 18 years old. What I was gonna ask Coach is, what are the Rutgers facilities like? Are they gonna be able to develop these kids and help them put on
It's already
weight?
been. They built the facility, the new APC facility for all men's and women's basketball. It's top notch. It's probably one of the best in the Big Ten right now. A lot of Big Ten schools have said that they've come in and they've looked at it from when Rutgers first was coming into the Big Ten. So Rutgers put the money, invested the money into it, and I can assure you it is top of the line. It's like some NBA, because they said there are some NBA teams that don't even have the facility that they have right now, and that's not just a basketball court. That's with weight training. The kids also have 24-hour access to nutrition.
Hold on, Coach. Slow it down with that, because Iceman in the back. I seen that part too, where they were talking about weight training. Iceman, can you talk to speak to that? Did you see that part where they were talking about weight training?
Yeah, they was like, yo, when we first came, we didn't think weight training was gonna be this hard. So they already in the gym getting worked out, bro.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? They putting them to work.
Exactly.
So hold on, Coach. Just speak to that. You being a coach, about the development of a player and how weight training plays a part in them being quote unquote NBA ready from the one and done. Because they growing at that age still. Like I would imagine at 18, 19, you still growing.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Pause or whatever.
Definitely, you're still developing. Your body is physically. You're growing in many different respects, physically as well as mentally. And then of course, if you already have a good knowledge of the game, playing at a higher level is going to expand your knowledge even more. So, but yes, being in the weight room, that also builds confidence. So once you get pushed around a little bit, but then you go through the weight training, it's going to help give you confidence as you get stronger, in any sport. That's not just in basketball, that's all sports, and that's important, for these young kids, 18, 19 years old, especially if they're trying to go on to the NBA and you're playing with grown men there. So if you get that initial foundational teachings, it's going to help you when you go into the NBA, as long as you're in the right culture setting. So, that's also what's most important.
So let me ask you this while we're here, because I don't get a lot of, there's a lot of different fans, and I got to be honest and let y'all know what side of the fence I'm on. I'm a fan more so that watches the NBA, didn't really follow college. I'm just getting into the content now, but there's also fans that do content that are fans of college basketball as well as the NBA. So I'm just distinguishing the difference, respectfully. But I'm saying that to say, me seeing this, knowing that everyone doesn't make the transition. I'll pose the coach to PT and everybody that watch college basketball and the NBA, as coach as well. Let's go to coach. What you think is I would say the mental side of it, the focus on staying diligent to the game, opposed the lifestyle with all of the social media and all of that distractions that come with it, the lifestyle that comes with it. I would say that's what separate the good from great earlier in their career. But from what you've seen, that's me in third person though, but from what you've seen in first person, what do you think is the most important transition from a college player going pros, in your opinion, coach?
What's most important?
Yeah, the transition from college to the pros.
I'm always a culture person. I'm sorry. I just am. You got to be in the right culture system to help pull the talent out of each player. If you get into the wrong system and you're around people who are and that are not working hard, it's going to rub these kids the wrong way. And that's the first thing, because a lot of these kids, they have the talent, but you need the right coaches to help develop them and teach them how to be professionals at the pro level. Because too many kids have just they get caught up in the money. Because think about it, 18, 19 years old, and you're starting to get some serious money. And I'm not talking about a couple $100,000. I'm talking about a couple $1 million leading up to possibly your second contract with a couple $100 million. So, and if you're in the wrong culture, you can get this, you can be distracted. You think about this. You go on the road, and pretty much every hotel, we all know, when we've heard the stories, that there's so many groupies out there. And what 18, 19-year-old is going to want to chase the punani? Come on, let's be real. But it's going to take you away from doing what you need to do to focus on the game. No, I'm being dead serious. I've seen it myself, just even at the low level in college. You go someplace and a girl comes up and guys are like, "Oh, wow, you want to give me," and you lose focus on what your job is. It's to be an athlete.
That's true.
So and that's why I say culture is really important. At least having good veterans, even if it's a rebuilding organization. If you have some good veterans who can teach them how to be professionals, that's going to go a long way, more than their abilities, because if you have the right coaches, that'll come. That really will come. And if you're going to the right type of rebuilding program, you get the right coach in there and he helps grow them. Case in point, I'll always point to Orlando. Orlando, when you brought in Powell, and when you have their head coach, look at what they've done. They have the right culture there. And they have the right coach and they have the right culture, and they're now a respected organization. And that's what as far as Nets, that's what you guys really need to have the right culture in place to help whoever you bring in, whether it's Ace, whether it's Dylan, whether it's Cooper Flag. You need to have the right culture in place to help develop these players mentally as well as physically. So, that's why, to me, the biggest thing is having your culture. And then from there, yeah, everything else will fall into place. The weight training, the development, the system, building the system around the players the right way, having a coach who's adaptable, because sometimes coaches are, we get thick-headed. Our system is the only way, and, that's the only way to do it. But sometimes you have to back up and say, let my system adjust to what these players do. Let me bring out what they do and help develop their strengths to be professionals in the NBA.
Nah, I appreciate that.
And I put a little something for you guys. It's something for Twitter, but it's just a little bit of Dylan. You guys can look at that. And if you want to follow Rutgers men's basketball on Twitter, trust me, they'll give you a lot of information, on both of them.
Yeah. Now my thing is, again, like I was saying about Cam Thomas, they were saying all of this is transition. I'm kind of like doing the Benjamin Button thing, but just in the sense where looking back from it, where these players, they get to the league because they play one way, and then after they get to the league, it's how fair is it to develop them into something totally different than what they were doing to make it to the NBA? I don't like it. I think they should focus on making sure they solidify, okay, we got you on this ball club because we like your strength, but these are other things that we want you to work on after you master your strength. You feel what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm saying that to say, that's contingent on the franchise sometime and the trajectory of the franchise. But us being in a rebuild, I think this is the season we see Cam Thomas. I say he could be 7-2 for assists. If they, but I meant that when Ace Bailey was on the roster. If Ace Bailey is on the roster, I'm saying like I know he won't be on the roster. I don't know that shit. I'm just saying if it was somebody like that on the roster where you can't double Cam Thomas now. And they can create their own shot. That's why I asked the question. I asked you, Coach, and PT, and everybody that watch college ball. Who's the better shot creator, Ace Bailey or Cooper Flag?
I'm gonna say
That's
Ace.
that's Ace by by far. Like that's that's not what Cooper Flag does. Cooper Flag
Mm-hmm.
is more of a like he's a power player.
Mm-hmm.
He's not Sean Kemp. Don't get me wrong. That's the wrong comparison. But he's a power player. He could take you off the dribble. He could do it without a point guard. Um,
And he dunked that ball.
and he dunks the ball. That's right.
He
But
dunked that
he's
ball.
not a shot maker, shot creator. They already tell you that his shot is gonna have to be developed. I'm sure they're gonna help him at Duke. But he's he's definitely a, a, a player. I'm not saying Cooper Flag's not gonna be ill. He is, but he's not like skilled like Ace
Hey,
Bailey is.
let me ask y'all a question. Did y'all see the Rutgers scrimmage highlights?
Sure did.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Just want to make sure that y'all saw it with with Ace and and the rest of them. The only one who wasn't out there was Dylan. So I mean it was Harper. So I
Yep.
just wanted to make sure that you guys saw that, so you guys can get a full perspective on, on the players that you're trying to follow, and that's going to be all year. You can follow it all year. So if you don't already watch the Big Ten Network as you go, so
PT. Do you agree, or do you think that Cooper Flag's comparison is Andre Karolinko? They put him like as that type of style player. You think that's where it's at, or he's a little bit above that?
you said me or someone else?
PT, you still there?
Yeah, no,
I'm
no.
here. I'm here. I'm here. I'm here. I didn't hear the question though.
I said, do you Cooper Flag's comparison is Andre Karolinko? Do you think that's right, or he's a little bit above Andre Karolinko?
Nah, he's a really good defender. That's why they said that. But he has more offensive game, and again, like he has a power game. He's dunking on you, not just you know dunking. You know what I'm saying? Like no no disrespect to Andre Karolinko. He's not on that level, but that's what Cooper Flag does right now. He defends. He runs the floor. He could take you off the dribble. At least high school players is what I've seen. I didn't see the Team USA piece, but I don't think you can learn much from that. When he plays against these other superstar kids, they play better than him. That's another thing that nobody is saying. You know, yeah, they're exhibitions. Yeah, they're not real games. But when he meets these guys in AAU and he meets them in high school games, he doesn't have a great record. Um, like I've seen both Ace and Dylan beat Cooper in games. So and outperform in scoring too. Like, but skill wise, Ace Bailey's off the chart. He's the type of player that can like his viral YouTube video shows you. 40 points and with 8 dribbles. That's a special player. That's a player that's operating on a higher level in terms of because when you're in high school, you could just do what you want. But for him to have that much understanding, 2 dribbles, pull up, 1 dribble, pull up, crossover, sidestep, pull up, like that's what he does. Cooper Flag is not that. Cooper Flag is Hezzy hezzy drive, dunk on you. And but Cooper is the better defender. But like it's not crazy to say that Ace Bailey is athletic KD. That's seriously, he's
All
not as
right.
skilled as KD is, but he does KD like things in terms of skill set.
And to the point, if he's not a POA defender, we got Clowney next to him. I'm confident that we could be a top 5, top 10 defense with him on the roster.
That would be crazy. If you could
Yeah,
have
him at the
if you
three.
could have Ace at the three let's say he grows into 6'11.
Mm.
Then you got Clowney at 6'10", 6'11 at the four, who can shoot. And then you got Claxton at the five. That's that's a nice combo.
But hold on, slowing it down. Do you think that we keeping a Noah Clowney to build around? Like he don't step on his toes. Like Clowney still could get minutes with Ace Bailey in the roster because Ace Bailey could be the 3 more than the 4.
Yeah,
Am I right?
Ace
Y'all agree
Bailey
with
is a
that?
shooter. Ace Bailey's a shooter scorer. He's supposed to be at the three. He's naturally a three. And
So
so
even if the best even if y'all saying what is it? Y'all not looking for position. Y'all are going for the best player. Is it fair to say that with the way the NBA is, they going to try to get a wing and then a number one?
if you had wings, you still taking Ace Bailey.
Yeah, you
Yeah,
gotta
Y'all taking
gotta
Ace
take
Bailey
him.
at number one?
I'm taking Ace at number one. Are you
I'm
kidding?
I'm taking Ace at number one.
yeah. I think a lot. I think it's a toss up. I mean, we've seen a skill set translate to wins over the league. If you want to talk about the prototypes, you've seen KD skill set lead to wins. You've seen Paul George skill set lead to wins. You've seen Tracy McGrady skill set lead to wins. Like it's not like these guys archetype it adds losing to your team. We've seen these players over the years be to we've seen Paul George go head to head with Brown for the few years in the Eastern Conference off his skill set. They basically the same archetype of players. You need I think the wings is really one of besides the point guard, one of the most important positions in the league. You need a wing that can be able to create his own shot, play defense, um, these we need some height for Brooklyn. We need height at the three.
Can I
It's
ask y'all
about
a
time that
question?
we got that.
Can I ask y'all a question?
Hmm
Who is your lead guard?
Um, as of now, I
Mhm.
think is Dennis Schroeder. I'm not sure, or
Do
Ben,
You've
but
you
at
got
this point in
three. You've
time,
got three
now?
other draft picks to make that decision.
The only reason why I asked that is because this season, depending on what happens with Dylan Harper, if what I think is going to happen, Dylan Harper may end up separating himself from any other league guard that's out there. Because his game, I'm telling you, go back, no, and it's not even just last year. Go back and watch him from his freshman season all the way up. I remember when he went up against the Wagner boy from Camden, and he put on a show. Everybody was hyping up Camden and Wagner, and they won that game. But Dylan Harper was the star of that game. He
I
dominated the
watched
game,
that game.
and
I
so
watched that game.
this is why I say who is your lead guard, because everyone, I've heard some of your Nets fans say it's Cam, and then Dennis Schroeder, and then people don't want to deal
No,
with Dennis Schroeder.
the lead guard isn't on this team yet.
And that's why I ask you that, because what's more important? If you have wings, do you take a lead guard, especially if Dylan proves that he is an elite type of a lead guard player? And it's not just in terms of facilitation; it's also creating for his own self and hitting clutch shots. So, do you bypass that?
I
So
mean, I think it's the best. I think a lot of the fans just go with best talent and figure the rest out later. In terms,
that's
and
it.
I think it's also based on the lottery. Depending on how the
Hmm.
picks go, If you
Hmm.
get if it lands based on the Knicks or the Bucks pick or whatever the case may be, you will hope you can see if you want to lead point guard, you will hope and see if you can land on Jalil Bethea, Dink Pate, or whoever is at that lottery section that you can get to complement whoever you got at 1, 2, or 3. So I mean, it's kind of tough. I understand that aspect of it because I mean, Dylan is the cream of the crop. If you're talking about lead point guards, that's the
Hmm.
guy you really want to get. But I think a lot of people will be just get best talent and figure the rest out later, kind of like it was a joke, but when Jordan got drafted, and they was like, "Yo, Chicago, y'all need a center," and they was like, "Yo, get Jordan, put him at center." Like
Hmm.
it's more so just get the best talent, figure the rest out later, and hopefully you would hope that Cam can turn into sort of a combo guard that you can kind of put at the one at certain points in the game and I mean, I know some people don't want him off the bench, but I think he will fit on the championship team as that 6 man role. But
Yeah,
if
if
he can
you're
turn and give you a little bit of decent defense and playmaking, you can try to experiment with him at that one and see what he can do alongside those other guys. But lots to be seen.
I'm
Lots
afraid
to
you
be
would
seen.
break Cam if you did that. If you made him have to be different than what his instincts are and his natural talent is, I mean, he's the all-time scorer for his high school, which was an elite high school. I forget, was it Mount Verde or Oak Hill, one of them, right?
Okay.
And the people who went to Oak Hill, that's like a crazy list for him to be the number one scorer ever. And then
Hmm.
he also scored at LSU. He broke scoring records there as well. To break him and make him do something that he doesn't do. I don't think that will serve him well. I think it would take away from his aggressiveness. Cam scores. He's an elite scorer. Let him develop that to be unstoppable. And whether that's at starting two guard or off the bench, he could be a part of a championship formula if he's elite at what he does. The Nets just have to fill in the blanks around him. And they got
Mm,
enough picks to do
I
it.
don't think that's necessary. I don't think it would take away from Cam. I think to your point, I think what Cam needs to do is we all know he's a good scorer, but he still do has to have certain reps of knowing what it's like to play the point. Similar to what Kevin Ollie did at the second half. He was playing Cam at point certain games just to let him get a feel of it. Like we know he can score, but see what you can do getting your other guys and getting other guys involved. Not
Right.
saying that you got to turn completely into like a Chris Paul or a Rajon Rondo, but just see what you can do at point guard and getting guys involved. What can you do out the double teams? You know what I'm saying? Like just little things like that to help get these guys in they shot. Because realistically, he is going to be the best player on this team. So you really need to get him. These other guys, as much as we know, they not really uh players that can get their own shot, but they are guys that do need to
I
be
said
fed.
I said 7-2. Is that crazy, LM? Seven and
Nah,
two assist to turnover ratio.
Oh,
if they can hit their shots, I mean, I would hope he can get to 6 if they can hit their shots. I mean, that's what. If the crazy thing is, Cam had finished the season at 2.9 assists per game. The crazy thing is, if they was hitting their shots, that number would probably be a lot higher.
I
We
would
gotta
think
remember. We gotta remember the surrounding aspects of Cam in terms of the players on this team. We need Cam Johnson to be consistent. We need uh whoever's in that line of Clowney. Is Clowney gonna be consistent with hitting his shots? Dennis Schroeder. Like we need Cam doesn't really have a lot of guys around him that I feel like are consistent in getting a bucket. So I mean, is most of his assists gonna come from the pick and roll with Clax? Is it gonna come from seeing the Cam Johnson's in the corner? You can get him off the pick and roll if defense come in and collapse and help. Like you got to see how all of that works in terms of Cam's playmaking. I think can easily make the easy pass. I don't think he has no problem with that. But um, to Parthos' point, I don't think it takes away from his game. I think it overall it will make him better because now you can leave him on the court as to where he just doesn't do one thing. He can do multiple things, and it's like okay, now we can pair him up with an Ace or Cooper or whoever's on
So
the floor.
Right.
You
LM,
can leave
let
him on there.
Right.
let me ask you a question.
Hmm.
So the ping pong balls lie. We end up somehow of getting 1 and 4, right?
So the one
So
in
that
the first pick and the fourth pick.
the first pick and the fourth pick, right?
Okay.
And you end up with VJ Edgecombe. How do you play
Hmm.
him and Cam?
That's a tough one. You would
Uh,
probably, honestly, if I'm being real,
Remember
and it's
VJ's
gonna
six
sound
four.
crazy, yeah, I know the season around 6'4", 6'5". If I'm being real, and it's going to sound crazy, if Cam has developed to the point where he can average 5 assists or 6 assists per game, I'm putting him at point, and I'm putting VJ at the two,
excuse
and I'm
me,
calling it a day.
gentlemen. Great conversation. I know this is net stuff, so I don't want to, take away from y'all's conversation. So I'm going to step out. So it's been a pleasure, guys. Anytime y'all want to talk records, let me know. I'm here for you. All right.
All right.
All
All
right.
right,
Yeah, I appreciate you.
thanks a lot.
Appreciate you.
All right, coach, appreciate you.
But to answer the question, if Cam has developed enough of a playmaking aspect to where he could reach 5 or 6 assists, whatever the case may be, and he showcased that this season. If you do land on the edge cone, I'm putting Cam at the one, edge cone at the two, and that's how I'm rolling. I don't need him to be a pass first guy, but if he has a decent amount of vision and being able to get the guys in their spots, I think him and Edgecombe could work well alongside each other. I don't
So,
think you necessarily got to play Cam off the bench. I mean, that's probably what they would do, but I'll experiment with Cam at the one, Edgecombe at the two, play Cam in spurts at the one, and see how that works and see
see,
if they can
to,
complement.
to Alam's point, right? If Cam was just a scorer, which he is, what he's known for right now, he would end up on the bench if he couldn't do nothing else. If that was his
Right,
specialty, he's on the bench, bro. Like if you draft VJ and you say all Cam can do is score, he's going to the bench. Easy.
right,
That's light work. But the point that Alam's making, right? And I think more not so of Cam being a pass first guy, but his IQ of when to pass and how to pass, how to create this mismatch and cause problems and get my guy open. That's what I always said about Cam is his IQ needs to go up a little bit more because he can pass. You know what I'm saying? He has learned to give the ball up because that's
right,
why he was in the G League because he couldn't pass. All he did was score, and they knew he could score like that, as I always
right,
said. So now, like Ellen said, he got a feel. Let me put me at point guard. Let me see what I can do. You know what I'm saying? Just to get a feel. But he has to be able to slide to the one to make other. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, if you had Brandon Ingram on this team and you had an Ace Bailey or something like that, you could slide the lineup up. You can slide it. You don't want to take Cam and put him on a bench because he can't. You know what I mean? He can't play the one. He's got to be able to
right,
adjust to the one, and you have a scoring lineup, and then you can slide him back down, big lineup, small lineup. He's got to be able to do something else. You know what I mean? He can't
right.
be limited to just
So let
scoring.
me put this hypothetical out, right? So say Cam upgrade and his IQ get better and he can get you like 5 or 6 a game, assists per game, right? So Pod on to your point, we get the first and fourth pick, right? We get Edgecombe and we get Ace, right? At one, and then we get Edgecombe at four, right? So now imagine with Cam's improvement, you rolling. Cam at the one, Edgecombe at the two, Ace at the three, Clowney at the four, and Clax at the five. That is if that's not a playoff team, I don't know what is. You rolling. Cam can stay in the lineup now because he can do any. He doesn't. He's not just a scorer. He has other options. So now you got him at the one. That's a guy that can get you 30 at the one. Then you got Escom at the two, 6'4", 6'5", an athletic specimen who can also give you who can also shoot as well. Then you got Ace, who doesn't even need to be a discussion. Then you got Clowney at 6'10", 6'11", who can also stretch out the floor. That's wingspan on. That's wingspan there. That's length there. And then what else do we need to say about Claxton, who's arguably damn near the best defender on the team? That's
Hello,
6'9", 6'5", 6'10", and 6'11", and the shortest player in that lineup is Cam.
hold on,
Like
hold on,
that's
hold on. Nah, I'm with y'all, man. Hold on, let me just address this comment because I seen him say this the other day. I didn't know what he was talking about. Yo, anytime you see me lead a stream is because I had to, and sometimes I extend the stream because y'all cooking. Like, and I do that because I get mines off quickly. You know, I've learned how to, I guess, well, a black, well, be a teammate to say the least. You know what I'm saying? I learned how to, say my piece and then let the like pass the ball around. So sometimes I just be letting y'all cook, and I already, you know what I mean. Like I say, I'm not doing a whole hour, 41 minutes by myself. I'm just not. But I'll probably give y'all like a good straight clean hour or something, you know what I mean? But y'all be cooking, man. And again, I want to ask y'all to be part of the panel if I ain't wasn't interested in what y'all was saying as well. So shout to y'all. Yeah, we really out here talking basketball. Shout to JP Liberty, man. He said great show. Shout to you, man. Appreciate that. We just talking about the interview with Ace Bailey and Dylan Harper. You know what I'm saying? They talking about, playing as teammates. They talking about um, you know, being on Rutgers and what they fitting to do. Uh so you know what I'm saying? I think they got a high upside. I never really followed college basketball, but now I think I am after them being recruited by Rutgers. So that's
Breezy,
that's what we talking about.
Breezy. Did you notice how confident they were? Like the
Yeah,
opposite of Mikhail Bridges. If we can somehow turn Mikhail Bridges into one of these two dudes, that's a heist. That's a, if you
yeah,
turn Mikhail Bridges into one of these players, even though it's not the picks that they had, yo,
yeah. Nah,
that
I'm not.
almost don't seem
you
fair.
rolling,
Like
We gonna see. This is
you rolling.
redemption for Sean Marks. He get this to happen. I listen. I really like the fact that the Nets fans is cool with the rebuild. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, I wasn't mad that we got Katie and Kyrie. I just didn't like what they did with the roster. And that's basically the dismantle the core four, whatnot. But case in point is the core that we got now. If we got this core for 4 seasons straight, bro, we got Cam Thomas, Clowney, and Claxton, Jalen Wilson coming off the bench because of Ace Bailey. Um, but let me not jump the gun. But I really do think that we get one of those players. Let me say that too. I do think we get one of those players because they recruited and went to Rutgers. The same way that if you know what I'm saying, they played like Kanye going to Syracuse, I think he going to the Knicks. That's just my opinion. You know what I'm saying? But I don't know, man. We will see. He said Breezy, I mean Easy said Breezy passing like Kid and Nash. Like Kid, man. Of course, man. Like Kid, never Nash. Word. Dennis Milton, he said Nets 2027 or 28 champs. That's a fact. I think this is possible. You know what I mean? I think we want to contend soon. We going to a season where we know we're not going to contend. I seen what the draft look like for 2026. I'm interested to what they're going to do with the 2026 draft. Are they looking to be a lottery pick in that draft too, and do take the same route that Tatum and Brown, where they got two high draft picks, back to back, or do they go into the free agency next season after they get Ben Simmons off the books? One of the things I do think they prioritize is Cam Thomas' contract. I think they pay him, and I think after they pay him, they still have flexibility, still have money to sign a star or already star, not somebody that he's trying to develop. But how y'all feel about that 2026 pick? Do y'all think we should do the same thing we doing this season and make sure we get a top three, top five pick, or do y'all think we should compete and just get whatever pick that we gonna get?
That's a good question. I think it's tough, man. That 2026 draft is going to be very elite too. So I had an idea, but I don't know how exactly you would go about it. But um, I would say let's do what Boston did to us. But we know, look, use our scouting team or whoever, and look for a team who you know might be bad next year. Try to get a draft pick from one of those teams and let that pick high key fall to the lottery based on how bad the team is, while we go off on the playoff run or whatever the case with Ace or whatever we may have. You kill two birds with one stone. At the same time, you being a good team, while the pick of the other team you have that's getting you in the lottery. Same thing that Boston did with us, where we was bad, so they got the third pick. But Boston, the team itself, they was like the fourth seed in the East, so they was playing chess. You know what I'm saying? We got a top three team in the East, and we got a top three pick based off Brooklyn being bad. So if you want to play chess, I feel like we can do that for 2026. But if you want to tank again, you can. I mean, imagine if we get AJ here, that would be a freaking insane lineup.
Why?
Because now
Why?
you
What position AJ play? Why? Why you say that?
AJ
Because you would have a
AJ is
six
most
nine
over
shooting guard.
right. You
You'd
had
be able
and
to have
something, and
6'11".
that's why I said Cam, if he improves on his playmaking, him playing the one will change things tremendously. Because now imagine if you get a 6'9" shooting guard in AJ, that's Cam at the one, that's AJ at the two, Ace at the three, Clowney at the four, and Claxton at the five. The shortest person in that lineup is Cam. All these other niggas is 6'9" and up. So not only do you got length, you got two, three people, including Cam, that can create their own shot. You got three shot creators, long, lengthy shot creators, and you got two defenders in Clowney and Claxton. So
That's a
if you
sick
want to
lineup.
take you a
And that's our
very
team
sick
for 10
lineup,
years.
right? And that will be our team for years. So you talking about Cam being the shortest guy out there at 6'4", and the rest of these niggas is 6'10" or higher. Like that lineup, and they all great defensively. So you don't even know that lineup might be pure lockdown and pure buckets on the other side of the board. So if you can get an AJ, I'll say go for it. That 2026 draft, you got Cameron Boozer in there too. You got Caleb Wilson, who's a 6'11" small forward. He just got I think I forgot what college he going to, but he played like KD. Caleb Wilson, he's 6'11", around 6'10". Um, very athletic. You know what I'm saying? Can jump out the gym. He might be Cameron Boozer and AJ might be the new Dylan, Ace, and Cooper this year for 2026.
And
So
you're
if you
and you're
can
not
get one of
tanking
those
either.
dudes,
Like what you're
yeah,
saying is right. They wouldn't be tanking this. It's just you're playing 19-year-olds. You know what I'm saying? That team is not
that's
gonna
true
win.
too.
So you're gonna organically, pick in the high in the lottery. But that's the
Right.
best thing that can happen. Because if you add one of those three blue chip type players, you know what I'm saying? Like you could get Ace and the center from South Sudan, and that would be a historic
Yeah, from
draft.
Duke. Yeah, he nice too.
Like it wouldn't be like getting VJ or one of them. Yo, but yeah, the 17-year-old at Duke, you get that kid 7'2", you got your center of the future. I'm not saying they're gonna trade
Right.
clocks, but when he's ready,
If Clax do depend if
he's
he
gonna
do
be a
decide to
problem.
leave eventually.
You
Yeah,
know.
Clax when they do decide, you know what I'm saying, this ain't working out, whatever the case may be, or they want to trade him, that would be a good guy. 7'2", 250. You know what I'm saying? Can play aggressive. Got a post game. Got a three. Got a three. He can shoot the mid. You know what I'm saying? That would be a good
You
guy to
shoot
have at
threes,
alongside Ace. Yeah, like that nigga is tall, bro. Like, and
right?
he not
I'm
skinny
just
either. He
thinking about how he
250.
would look
Like,
with Noah Clowney.
yeah, that's a defensive problem.
Who would
That's dope.
who?
Both of that's defensive issues. Like you talking, there's a lot of that's a win in my book. If we got Ace and Common out of from Duke, you won. So that's
That's what I'm
two
saying.
players
Now that
there.
I know the
That's
draft a
elite
little bit
talent.
more, I saw I watched the on beIN Sports the European FIBA under 18s, and Traore really disappointed me. I didn't like the way he looked.
Mhm.
Sar, I didn't like the way he got 14 a game. I didn't like the way he looked. He didn't look dominant. It's hard. I guess it's hard to look dominant in Europe because they play different. It's not like AAU.
Mhm.
Um, but still, I wasn't that impressed with them. But they're gonna tout Noah because Traore rather, they're gonna tout him because he's an athletic freak. He can handle at his size. But I don't like his shooting. It, he doesn't jump off the page like VJ Edgecombe does. I can't see him going before VJ. VJ's just a better prospect overall. I don't know if anybody
Yeah.
else got to watch the under 18s Euro Cup.
I watched a little bit of it. I didn't really catch it all though.
Yeah. These players
It,
coming up is different,
I,
man.
I'm in full scouting mode now, right now, yo. Not
So
like I
have
can
you?
even
Same.
make the
Yeah,
pick, but I
listen.
want to know what's out there.
Yeah, no, I'm
Same.
all for it. I'm all for it. This would be a learning lesson for me. I never really followed college basketball. I think this is the most college basketball content y'all gonna get from this page this season. Because then again, you got Easy in the comments saying that we might get the sixth pick, and we can't rely on the third pick. But again, history showed us with the Celtics that they got the second and third pick because of the Nets. Houston Rockets recently just got the third pick because of the Nets. That's the reason why I think that we're going to get the third pick. But then y'all saying that Ace Bailey might go number one, but what if we get the third
And
pick? Like, I don't know. I really don't know what's going to happen, but I do want to see our current roster play good. I don't want us to be absolute trash. I want to see potential in this team. Um, and I think I will. You know what I'm saying? I think we get a few game win streaks, maybe like three game win streaks. You know what I'm saying? 3 win streaks with 3 games back wins. I think that could happen. Um, but yeah, ultimately, I think it's going to be a rough season because of the trajectory of what we want to do with our draft picks. It's been a long time since they had to say in the matter, and I think the last time we did was Brooke Lopez. So, I mean, as far as lottery picks is concerned, so and this is Sean Mark's first chance to get a lottery pick. Do they want to give Sean Marks more than one lottery pick? Is it possible to move up in the draft? Yeah, we can't flip the Knicks and the Bucks pick. Can't flip those picks. Flip a 2030 pick with that pick. Take those 3 picks. Get in the lottery again. Maybe get a top 5 and a top 10 player. Is these things possible? Is
Breezy,
Sean Marks doing that kind of magic
Breezy,
or
the
what?
Mm.
Nets have to have the most lottery balls on the night of the draft, yo. That's just they have to ensure that they get a top 3 pick in this draft. They've done too much. They have to come away of one of Dylan, who's probably the best fit, and honestly, when I've seen them all play together, he's played the best. I like I like Ace's skill set. I think he's gonna be number one overall. And if we get Cooper Flag, we get Cooper Flag. I honestly, I would pick VJ Edgecombe over Cooper Flag. I know that's a hot take, but from what I've seen, I take VJ over even though I don't even like small players, uh 6'4" shooting guards, it's not the type of size I like at that position, but VJ Edgecombe is different, man. He's
Yeah,
different.
nah.
He's different, yo.
We gonna get into that. I'll probably start a stream saying Cooper Flag or VJ Edgecombe for number one, something like that. But and I'll reach out to you on Twitter too if I do that. But shout out to Iceman, shout to PT, everybody that joined the panel. I'm finna close out soon. We almost 2 hours in. Hopefully everybody out there watching, hit the like button. You know what I'm saying? Help the algorithms. Help sub up to the page as well. And again, y'all can drop comments if y'all want specific content. You know, it's the off season, so we could get into some more stuff as well. Before we go, Claude Smith says Jordy is going to light a fire under a lot of guys. Hopefully. Dennis Milton says, what may be going over people's head is we good whether we get the lottery pick or not. We can find a Melo, C-Mac, and another two good players in this draft if we wanted to. That's why we're gonna follow the draft this season to see exactly who these players could be. Again, college basketball is on fire right now. A lot of people have been waiting for this draft. It's supposed to be a legendary draft. Um, Talking to my son earlier, he asked me what was the best draft. I don't know. He said 2016 with, I my fault. He said 1996 with Kobe and AI. And I don't know, man. And I'm thinking maybe would this draft be that good? We'll see, man. And in due time. But I'm gonna offer the strength for my son. I'm definitely gonna do that. Bring y'all that content soon. So I just want to say thank y'all. I appreciate y'all. I'll be back with more content. And have a good night, y'all. Peace.
All right.